Joe and Justin with VMP's Tuning Tuesday. I think it's season 2, episode 5. It's beautiful outside today.
Everything. Patterson was here. Made some awesome pressure. I don't know, something.
Measure torque.
And then scare all on the test drive.
In his defense, it's not hard. With someone else driving, at least.
Yeah, I'm not a good passenger at all. So, what's been going on, Joe?
A lot.
A lot? You've been
a lot.
on the dyno. Joe's been on the dyno a lot lately, so I haven't talked to him much.
Yeah, we've been living separate lives lately. We've both had a lot going on. Did a Coyote swap Fox body, done a Cobra, GT500, turbo 5-liter, all sorts of shit.
Jesus, you've been busy.
Yeah.
You also had another Revology car in here.
Yeah, had another Revology car in here.
Doing some, so that's kind of unique. Gen 3 Coyote swap, getting kind of all the support and all the things ironed out on that, I guess, basically.
Exactly.
Anything unique you've run into so far on that?
Just that it's not, at least the specific strategy that's on this car isn't supported yet.
By HP tuners?
Yeah, they're adding support for it now.
I know we had some IMRC issues on the previous Coyote control packs.
When I looked over their setup, it looked like it was hooked up right, but without the ability, like when I went to open the file, it was failure to load definition, so I can't even see if Ford has it set up right.
How Ford has it set up.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to get it squared away, but that's things for people doing similar swaps to look out for.
Exactly.
And basically, if you call us, get a tune from us, we're going to be able to walk you through all those nuances because we've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Ferraro says, thanks for getting the truck done. It's killer.
It's awesome, man. Jim told me I should lower my truck.
Yeah.
So
it's a good time.
I'm still sitting high up there, 4-wheel drive style.
Yeah, you probably got like a whole tire's worth of wheel gap on me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jonathan Whitaker's on the line, says patiently waiting to be distracted from work. Laz Reg says good evening, Justin.
Hey.
He's in Paris, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Jane says, what's the most boost a Gen 3 motor can run on pump gas?
Before they start getting unhappy or before they blow up? Because there's a difference between the two.
How many times do you want to run it before it blows up?
How much timing are you letting the knock sensors pull?
How big is your DI pump?
How much timing are you commanding in base?
Yeah. I mean, to give him an answer,
I'd say the safe realm would be in that 11-12 PSI range. I don't know that I'd go too much higher on just straight pump 93.
if we wanted all the safeties basically engaged still.
Yeah, and if you still wanted that wiggle room without having to add octane booster or swap over to race fuel, I wouldn't really push it much further past 12 pounds.
Wiggle room for poor quality fuel, beating the living heck out of your car. There's a lot of things we leave wiggle room in there for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting some word that we just lost some audio on Facebook.
Uh-oh.
So, just an FYI.
Testing. So just Facebook. Facebook's weird sometimes.
Yeah, the stream seems to be going fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just put a little comment on Facebook and say, hey, if you want to be able to listen, just transfer over to YouTube.
Yep, that's what I do.
Hot damn.
Thor is back.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he's doing a split or something. So
he's working on his Kegel exercises.
Joe, is that how you do Kegels?
Yeah, that's not how you do Kegels.
Yep, we dug Thor out of the motorhome because I think Thor went to Mustang Week and never came back to the office.
Poor guy.
And he made an appearance because I did an 0304 Cobra product review video last week. It's going to be hitting YouTube soon, and covered some of the changes and updates we've made to the 0304 Cobra Supercharger kit. It's still a Gen 3. These are just minor revisions, improvements, things of that nature. Carrie, are we getting barraged with tuning questions yet?
You have some questions here. Let's see what we have. Do 101 full says good afternoon. Joseph says how's it going? Daniel says thought I would get in trouble for watching this at the shop, but my foreman is now tuning in also. That's great.
Great, everybody's watching now.
Well, that's what we want. We want people to watch. Jonathan Whitaker says Joe's been waiting on my data log for about 3 weeks. LOL.
True story.
Too busy doing ride-alongs and stuff like that, Jonathan.
I know.
You're
Jonathan.
Put down the GoPro, Jonathan. Let us tune your car.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about developing something for 2 valves? There's still a lot of 2 valves on the road.
There are, but sadly, a blower kit would probably cost more than what most 2 valves cost to buy these days.
Coyote, swap it, man. It's just 2 valves don't make no power. They make what modified. They make what a stock Coyote makes. So we just don't see our customers spending the money on the cars. I mean, if that's what you've got to work with and that's what you can afford, it's great. Play with it, modify it.
Torque Tech already makes a kit. Our blower already bolts to it. There's kind of already a solution out there. Just use the Torque Tech lower intake kit. There's a couple odds and ends and pieces you have to buy, and then our Cobra blower bolts right onto that. So there's not really like a need for us to develop an entire kit for those because we already have a compatible supercharger. And
at the end of the day, you're going to end up spending $6,000, $7,000 to do that. So there's just no cheap way. That's the problem we see with the older markets.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Someone commented, what's with the music? When you don't like our music, let us know. We can always change it up.
I don't hear any music.
I don't hear any music either. Is music still playing from the
Go
intro
for
or
Chuck
something?
says, hey guys, hey Rebecca, hope your day is going well.
We'll let Rebecca know. Is she watching?
I didn't see her tuned in, but
she was on last week.
Let's see here. 515 Mustang says, need to get Xander 13, one of these VMPs on his Mustang.
Sounds good. Sounds real good.
Who is Xander 13?
That's what I was going to say. Who's Xander 13?
Yeah, I don't know. If they want to...
Max, do some research, please.
If they want to get a blower kit, that's great.
Is it Xander with a Z or Xander with an X? Bum, bum, bum.
I'm looking here to see where people are commenting in about the sound. Lazarek says, what's your worst nightmare when tuning a car?
A car that's not ready to be tuned.
Yeah.
Terrible MAF signal.
I mean, like fixing everything on the car just to get to the point of tuning it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you'll see me on some of the videos I've shot recently while tuning, get out of the car, check the straps, and like hook up something I forgot to hook up under the hood. But like doing that once or twice is okay. Like doing it like 5 times sucks.
Rebecca chimed in. She is over on YouTube. She says hi. And then Gopher checks, sorry, I thought it was Rebecca Carey. Hello to you as well.
Hey.
So usually, just so people new out there who don't know, usually I'm behind the scenes reading stuff off on both Tuning Tuesday and Burnout Fox when necessary. And Rebecca fills in or Max fills in if for some reason I can't be here. So usually I'm always the one back here.
99% of 60% of the time it works every time. Usually, always.
Yeah, usually, every once in a while. Daniel says, would a stock S550 GT non-PP and a 2.97 T56 be good at passing Hemi boats in Mexico? Just been hearing a lot about rear end swaps, and that confused me.
What gear ratio did he say with a 297 TR6060?
A 297 T56.
Did he say rear end gear ratio though?
No.
So if I was going to run so we don't have yeah. Usually most people are going to put more rear end gear ratio in to make up for the T56.
Yeah, because you're talking, I think it's a 386 or 338 first gear and a MT82. and then you're going to a 297. So I don't know if you already have like a 315 or 331 rear diff, going to a 373 may be a good idea if you're running a 28-inch tall tire or 27-inch tall tire. That's usually a good recipe for success on a 297.
And Ford actually did a good job with the MT82 of giving you gear ratios, the right gear ratios and closely spaced gears for the Coyote, because kind of keep it in its power band. They did a good job with the 10-speed auto too, but it's a 10-speed auto. They better have done a good job with it.
Exactly.
You
and
know,
to that same end, just look at the gears that are in GT500s. You have 355, 373, and then in your 1314 GT500, you have a 331. But they did that for that 60 mile an hour first gear since they had the 7,000 RPM limiter, but you have a Coyote, you can go 7,700 in most applications.
You know, and the GT500's got a big power curve with a positive displacement blower. And a Coyote has a pretty narrow power band.
Shifted up.
Yeah.
So like the GT500 is like a 1,500, 6,500. And then a Coyote, I would say, is more like a 2,500, 7,500. You get that shift.
Yeah, yeah. So either fill in with more gear ratio or just put a blower on it and have a bunch of bottom end. A positive displacement blower, as David Patterson found out.
It makes for a fun driving car.
Gopher Chuck says, me and a GTR got smoked by a gray F-150 with a VMP banner on the rear window. He says that thing was fast.
A gray F-150 with a VMP banner?
What was that? I don't know. That must be Jim.
It may be, yeah.
Yeah. Smoked around town here in Florida somewhere? Sanford, Winter Park?
Yeah, mine doesn't have a banner on the back window.
Yeah.
Not anymore, at least. I did that for the Mod Nationals.
Mine doesn't either. And
black cannot be confused with gray.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Is what do we know that's gray?
My truck's gray. I'd say Jim's truck is more of a gray. Mine's more of like a dark shadow metallic-y gray.
I mean,
Does Jim have a VMP sticker in the window?
I suspect he might.
Yeah, I know that he has a Ferraro Speed sticker.
But actually, I think we did a couple trucks. There's actually a bunch of trucks running around now that we've done installs on.
Yeah, Wiggins' truck is a Leadfoot gray, if I remember right.
Okay. And then Fred Coleman, is he?
I-75 Tampa.
I-75 Tampa.
Someone out in the woods.
Jordan wants to know, what are your plans for Gen 3 Coyote blowers?
In what regard?
Sell some? They're in stock now.
Yeah.
They've been in stock for a couple weeks now. We've officially recovered from Black Friday.
Shelby Kenneth West says, hello guys, and BMP plus Carrie.
Hola.
Hi,
Hey.
Alexander. Chris says, did you guys see the new Super Duty 7.3 liter? It's a push rod gas burner.
Yeah, I watched it on my way to work this morning.
I heard about that engine probably about, I don't know,
We were
6
talking
months
about
ago
it with
now.
Travis Hill.
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty cool that Ford's bringing back a big displacement gas engine.
Based on what they're saying, it sounds like it's
Thanks, Max.
set up to be the replacement for the V10, because you know the V10 was the
Yeah.
in between of the 543 valve and the diesel stuff.
Yeah.
It sounds like that they're making it for that to fill in that role.
And like the Super Duties have gotten so expensive because the diesel powertrain literally costs like $10,000 or $15,000 for Ford to make. More than half of that being the emission system on the diesel powertrain. So a gas engine's a great way for one of those trucks to be less expensive, or motorhome chassis, like work trucks, cabin chassis. I bet Ford will produce like $250,000 a year or $500,000 a year of those frickin' 7.3 engines.
Based on what they're saying, they're overbuilt stock. So
Jim says anything's better than the V10.
you're not wrong, Jim. You're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if we could get some unnatural aspiration on one of those, and
I like to call it supernatural aspiration.
supernatural V10 or 7.3 gas. What could we put one of those in?
Anything. Let's just
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
Mike Whedon says all of it.
yeah.
It'd be nice if it was a CGI block too. I hear it's iron though.
Is CGI a lot lighter?
Yeah. The compacted graphite. I think that's what they have in 6.7 Scorpion stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Slapjack says, does running older engines on newer ECUs make a big difference, i.e. Coyote computers on other 4 valves and Ellis computers on small block Fords?
Well,
anything is possible in software. if you have
yeah.
if you have the ability to modify the things that you need to and they're not hard-coded into the ECU.
I think when you first started tuning, Joe, like 3 or 4 years ago, you wanted to do a Coyote computer 6R80 swap on your 03 Cobra, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just, you ended up selling the car and everything, but
Yeah.
I mean, the newer computers are so much better, and they're honestly fairly inexpensive compared to the standalone stuff, so there's some value to doing it.
Yeah, although I was doing, I did a tune for a customer with a GT500 that has a quick 6 standalone. I think I was doing that yesterday, the day before. And just so that I can make sure I can tell him what to do after he gets the file, I looked up the instructions on the quick 6 standalone trans controller, and it seems pretty straightforward in how you set it up and configure it.
And that's for the 6R80?
Through 6R80.
Nice. Well, yeah, and if you've got, what, an 11-up GT500, you might as well use the factory computer because it's wideband, it's the good stuff.
Yeah, and I know that Power by the Hour does stuff with 5-liter ECU swaps and 6R80 with GT500. But
Yeah.
In a way that would bring down cost and complexity if you had your own standalone controller for the 6R80 and just ran the stock ECU for everything else.
Yeah.
But I'll update you guys on how that turns out, how the customer likes it and whatnot.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool setup.
Mm-hmm.
King Cobra wants to know, are you guys headed to Texas 2K?
We have not made Texas 2K plans. Yeah.
I was talking to Ashley about it, and I was like, if we're going to be the only ones out there, I almost don't want to go. Because it's like...
Yeah. It's... The way things are falling this year, it's... like Texas 2K, even last year, was pretty tough because we had back-to-back events.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is, obviously, we need the team here at VMP at the office working. So Joe and Alex were here working, and me and Rebecca went to both events, both Ponies and the Smokies and Texas 2K. So it's a lot sometimes to come home for a couple days and then leave again.
Yeah, and then me and Alex took planes up to TX2K last year.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got to fly home, too.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. It was a very beautiful thing.
The balance of going into the busy season and having people at the office, but getting out there and doing cool shit.
It's the balancing act, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Speaking of which, Streetcar Takeover is this weekend.
Yeah.
And then, isn't NMRA Bradenton one of these upcoming
3 weeks, yeah. I think, is it like March 1st?
I'm not sure. Lots of fun events coming up. Might want to make your way down south for a vacation if you got some vacation time to burn already.
Yeah, February 28th and March 1st.
God, man.
So 1, 2, 3 weeks from now. And then, of course, you've also got Lights Out at South Georgia Motorsports Park. Awesome radial race.
Oh, man. It's a good time to be in the Florida, Georgia area is what you're saying.
Jason wants to know, what are your thoughts on fuel pump boosters that are boost reference instead of continuous current fuel pump booster?
If you're going to run extremely high voltage and try to do silly stuff with the stock fuel pump,
Like 21, 22 volts.
yeah, maybe 24 volts once or twice, then definitely boost reference.
Yeah, if you keep it in that realm of reason of under 19 volts, it's fine to run it all the time like that as long as the tune's set up for it.
Yeah, like our VMP plug-and-play fuel pump booster, it is made to just be idiot-proof. You just plug it in, ground it properly, let us know, we'll make the tweak in the tune, and you don't have to worry about vacuum lines. Because here's my biggest fear with a vacuum line. If that pops off and you no longer have a boost reference,
It no longer increases voltage, and on most of the stuff we're using them on, they don't have fuel or pressure sensors, so if pressure isn't what you're telling the ECU it should be, you have a bad time.
yeah.
Eli says 13 GT S480 T6 Turbo. TIAL, tile, 50
Tile.
millimeter.
Yeah.
BOV. What size spring do you think I need in my BOV?
I don't know what size spring you need in your BOV.
Okay.
And it's an S550?
Yes.
So, Joe, we're going to have to, like, reverse this one out.
No,
It's
S480.
An S480 is a Borg-Warner turbo. I
Yep.
think he said it's a 14 GT, so it'd be an
13
S197.
GT, yep.
Yeah, so it's an S197 GT with a single Borg-Warner S480. And then he's wondering what spring he needs in his blow-off valve.
I mean, honestly, you can put whatever spring you want in there.
Yeah, because
But
the spring that's really important is the wastegate.
if we were tuning it and you were more concerned about how it runs than like making cool noises, I would run a pretty soft spring and just vacuum boost reference the thing, because I do not want there to be pressure waves affecting the MAF. And venting the air sooner with a softer spring is going to make the MAF happier and blow through.
Murphy wants to know about the 160 throttle body. Will it work on a GT500 2.6 pulley? He heard it only works if cammed. Is that right?
Our biggest throttle bodies, we only recommend, our 173 we only recommend with big aftermarket cams. We are testing some revisions to the 160 to see if we can keep it happy on stock cams. So reach out to me probably, and I'll let you know when that testing's complete and when we could sell you one.
Joseph wants to know, which would you recommend for a 12 Mustang GT, the Stage 2 or Stage 3 Supercharger?
If you plan on going to E85 at any point in time or turning it up on race gas, then go with Stage 3. If for the foreseeable future, you only plan on running 10 to 12 PSI in pump gas, the Stage 2 kit's perfect. Not to say that you can't do that with the Stage 3 kit and make even a little bit more power, but if the dollars don't make sense to bump up to that Stage 3 level and you're just concerned about that, we'll call it 8 to 12 PSI window on pump gas, the Stage 2 does just fine.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, cost versus performance with those things mixed in that Joe was talking about, really where you want to go with the car.
Mm-hmm.
And in the future, we're probably going to be simplifying our kit offerings to where it's more of a Gen 2R or a Gen 3 type offering. So that, just to put things in perspective, do you want to go the tried and true 2300? Do you want the more powerful 2650?
Go for Chuck's Game says, this is maybe a silly question, but how can I make my blower louder than my exhaust?
So like, does he actually want to make his blower louder, or does he want to hear it more in the car or truck?
That's a good question.
Because I can assure you that if you stand a foot in front of your car while it's making a dyno pull, you're not going to be able to stand there without covering up your ears when the blower is going. Or risk hearing damage otherwise, because they're pretty loud.
He said both.
The faster you spin your blower, the more noise it puts out the inlet. That's my first thing.
Yeah.
Of course, the quieter your exhaust is, the louder your blower is.
Yeah, I'd say what's the guy's name that does the
sound tubes for blower cars?
Yeah, is it Sean something?
I forget the name of them. Yeah.
There's a guy that does a sound tube mod that puts the thing that basically pumps induction noise into the car stock into the cold air intake tube of the supercharger that pumps a lot more noise into the cabin of the car, so you hear a lot more of the blower noise.
He's coming back and he's saying, I figured a smaller pulley, and then he says, F that, I like the loud.
If you like the loud, just get that sound tube mod that puts it into the cold air intake tube of the supercharger. What you can run as far as pulley size is really going to be dictated by the fuel quality you're using and the overall limits of the setup that you have in the car. So I'd say if you're just looking to increase blower noise inside the cabin so that you can hear it more, just go with that sound tube thing.
So Lazareg likes to chime in and talk about how the rear diff blew on the truck. So
Okay.
yeah, he says it several times an episode usually these days. So
Boom! Boom! Crunch, crunch, crunch. Hopefully that gets you your fix for the day.
Bunny hop, bunny hop.
Yeah, yeah.
Gopher Chunk says pumps, and he says okay, thanks.
Sweet.
Poor Boy says happy Tuesday. Joe, do you still have your yellow Mustang? What's the setup on it? And did you Coyote swap it?
I've never had a yellow Mustang.
Maybe he's thinking of Travis's?
Yeah, that's Travis's Fox body. He still has it. It still has a Coyote in it. He hasn't finished the swap yet. And yeah, it's kind of where it sits right now.
Lazreg, who talked about the def, said, yeah, well, thanks. Max says, hi Joe, what gap do I do on my spark plug when putting my Gen 3 on? I have them gapped to 35 now.
If I remember correctly, you're set up with a tune for an 85 millimeter and a tune for an 82 millimeter with Gen 3 on a 1517 car. I'd say run a 28 to 30 thousandths gap on that. Closer to the 28 if you could, please.
We're being asked, when are we going to see more Chucky content? Chucky content
Soon.
comes out bi-weekly, so it will be next week.
Sweet.
So next Wednesday is when you should see more Chucky content. Let's see what else. Daniel says, by 27-inch tire, do you mean wheel plus tire?
No, I mean overall diameter of the tire.
Clint says, what's up, fellas?
Hey.
Hi, Clint.
Matthew says, how much power can the Gen 3 blower make on the Coyote?
All of it.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of power. I'd say, is Rebecca car up around that, like, we'll guesstimate if it's a manual car. Is her car up around like 1150-ish horsepower through manual?
Can neither confirm nor deny exactly how much power Rebecca's car makes, but to run 8.0 at 30, in the 3,400 pound range, you would need a lot of horsepower like that. So yeah, we only dyno it with an open converter, so that's why you know, kind of making a reference. If it was a manual, what we thought it would dyno, and yeah, I think you're up there, Joe. I think you're up there. So a lot of potential with the Gen 3.
More than most people will ever need.
Yeah, pretty much.
Poor boy says, sorry, Joe, I thought you had a yellow one.
That's okay, buddy.
Too Fast Staying says, what's up, guys? Recently bought a tune for my 08 GT500. It's running great. I am looking into getting a Gen 2R or Gen 3 Supercharger. What are the differences and which do you recommend?
Displacement is the biggest difference.
Good to hear that your tune's running great. That's what we want to hear. So, and as Joe said, displacement and efficiency, the 265 VMP Gen 3 is our latest supercharger. It's larger displacement and it's more efficient than the Gen 2R.
Rebecca says, thanks for keeping her secrets.
My bad, Becca, my bad.
No, you did fine, Joe. You alluded to it. It's all good. Oh, wait. I don't know. Was that a real compliment?
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. I think it was a real...
I think it's sincere. Thanks for keeping my secrets, exclamation point. I think she's sincere.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as we don't
I wasn't sure if it was sarcastic or not.
She's usually not sarcastic, so...
No, I think she's sincere.
But to help this gentleman make the decision about his 08 GT500, it's how high do you want the ceiling to be? Do you ever want to invest in a lower pulley? Gen 3 does a lot without ever having to do an overdrive balancer. Gen 2R hits a ceiling pretty quickly until you do a balancer. I guess I could sum it up that way.
Life in a Mustang says, what's up, everyone? I was at Samsula landfill for meet and greet and could hear the party. Sounded like a good time.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Oh, man.
Let's see here. They're talking about, Travis was responding to Matthew, and they're saying with the right supporting mods and pulleys on a Gen 2 Coyote, as much as 960s to the wheel, maybe 1,000, but then a built motor starts being needed.
I'd say it's accurate.
Chris Hinrichs says, swap back to the stock ECU, Joe. I had the Coyote computer in and took it out due to some things I didn't like. I got the file, and we'll get you a data log tonight.
Awesome. Sounds good, buddy.
It's on the GT500 with a 6R80 swap.
Oh.
Awesome.
Jason says, do the no-tune needed eBay cold air kits have any tune problems like poor running conditions?
I'd say the biggest problem a cold air kit can have is bad MAF signal and a poor heat shield.
Yeah, and then is it truly no tune required? Like,
Yeah.
you know, for
I can tell you that diameter alone will not save you from needing a tune update.
yeah, and all the no tune required cold airs, they keep the mass air very small, so that's how they try to achieve the no tuning required. But if you don't increase the size, how do you increase the flow? That being said, I have a Roush no tune required cold air for S550 that I will sell you cheap if you really don't want to do a tune yet.
I'd like to get Nick James on here and have him explain the black magic that is mass airflow sensors to these people in
Yeah,
terms better than I can.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Jonathan Whitaker says TRC Street Kings is the 16th. I'll be running in 2 classes, and he says hashtag VMP Nation.
Hell yeah. Hell
Awesome. Awesome.
I better get some logs before you go racing again. Come out there with a bat.
Jason, who was asking the questions about the fuel pump boosters earlier, says thinking about the Roush Boost reference back.
That's a good booster pump setup. That's made by JMS, right?
So I think for 11 to 14, maybe they do a boost reference, but for 15 to 17, they just go, they turn on the voltage boost with high-speed fuel pump. They actually monitor the CAN wire for the signal.
Nice.
However, like our unit basically does the same thing with tuning.
Travis wants to know about streetcar takeovers. Who from the BMP crew will be going, if anybody?
I haven't really made any plans to go down there.
I'll probably sneak down there.
Sneak down there? Yeah. I'll have to see if I can get down there.
It looks like Jonathan Blevins is on the line.
What's up, kid?
A Jonathan B. It says, hi, everyone.
Hey, Jonathan. Keep tearing that car apart. Get her done. I heard you're gonna.
What's he doing this time?
He's going to improve the front rear weight distribution of his S197 Mustang.
So is he pushing the engine back closer to the firewall, or is he moving other weight around?
He's eliminating the strut towers.
Interesting.
So
like going to like Mustang 2 SLA style suspension?
So he has the Griggs front suspension for his S197, which is an SLA. Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty trick. And he's going to tube the whole front end out and make the thing really light. It should be a pretty awesome showpiece at the end of the day when you think about it.
Yeah. Real question is, how much weight's going to come off the front end with that? You think like in the measure of 100 pounds or in the measure of 150, 200 pounds?
He is racing against Corvettes, and so far he's winning. But to that question, it's like 50 pounds, I think, maybe 60 or 75. So, but he's
at his level, every pound counts.
Yeah,
so.
that's where he's at. You know, everything counts. I hope I'm not disclosing any secrets or anything like that, Jonathan. So.
We can't be giving away people's secrets today, Justin.
Rebecca came back and said, no, both you guys did really good. Chris says, pros and cons of speed density F-150 system versus what the Mustang uses, Coyote engines.
If you make major modifications, it's more complicated to recalibrate. Like
in some ways, yes. In some ways, no.
Yeah.
Because like we find that some things don't need calibrated for. It scales properly in some cases, but I don't know. I'd say for most Mustang guys, what Ford did makes sense using mass airflow based stuff. I'd say the main advantage to speed density is some of the things you're able to do from an emissions standpoint. Instead of having to infer calculations of manifold absolute pressure, you're able to directly measure it and then offset everything accordingly.
Even drive-by-wire.
Yeah.
Like
it helps out drive-by-wire a bit too.
The F-150, the speed density F-150s do really well with drive-by-wire. Actually, I keep meaning to put one of the version 2 160s on my truck to see what it does.
Yeah.
John says, hope to see you guys at the American Muscle Show in June, flying in from Vancouver. Too far to drive for me. Douglas says, hey guys, on a 14 GT500, can I run your Gen 3 Supercharger and your fuel pump booster? ID 1300 injectors on E85, or do I need to go return style?
The stock fuel pump is basically going to be quote unquote tapped out. I'd say, what, 800 wheel, even with boosters.
It's pushing it, yeah. It's really pushing it. So.
Like you can make it work because it has a pressure sensor, but where does pump duty cycle max out at what we'd consider a reasonable pressure, call it like 50 PSI.
And he said he wanted to run corn?
Yeah, he wanted to run E85.
Yeah. What year was it?
13, 14.
13, 14.
With ID 1300s, a booster, and a Gen 3. So I was thinking around 800 wheel.
Yeah, that'd be a safe number, I feel like, especially with the efficiency of the Gen 3. I mean, you'd probably only have to run like a 2.6 pulley. So I feel good about that.
John says, hi, I have a 1450 and I saw the Blue Smurf video hitting 700 with a Gen 3 BMP. I want around 625 to 650 horsepower. What do I need, or just buy a Gen 3 and does it come complete? Thanks.
The VMP stage 1, 2, and 3 kits are complete. The only option is spark plugs and a tuning device if you don't have one already. So if cost is a concern and you're not worried about future upgradability, stage 1 or stage 2. If you want to kind of future-proof it and cost isn't a big deal, then stage 3 all the way. And we can put a 92 millimeter pulley on there and a really conservative tune, and I promise your car won't make too much horsepower like David's car did.
Classic. Classic.
You don't understand. Like, David drove his car here, and it had 100,000 miles on it, and I'm like, I'm not going to go aggressive on this one. And Joe knows me. I'm usually not afraid to be aggressive.
You are not afraid to be aggressive.
I'll just kind of hit the keyboard, make a run. And it's not, I don't believe it's reckless because I listened and everything and I make sure the car's not feeling wrong on me and I lift if it does. But David's car was a complete accident because the last thing I could have is something happen to a 100,000 mile Coyote.
Yep, to that same end, Alex's car was 100,000 miles and
that
thing was run through the ringer with E85 and even pump gas and everything.
It was run really hard.
Murphy wants to know if using boost stain all the time, targeting 100 octane, will it allow to pulley down more than 79 millimeters on a Roush blower?
If you're talking a 15, 17 car, it will. You just have to make sure your injectors are going to support what you're willing to do with pulley size, and definitely consult your tuner to see if they're comfortable with you going down in pulley size, because like the Roush 47s with a good induction setup, like a JLT or a PMOS cold air, a good throttle body, and anything smaller than a 79 maxes out the 47s fairly quickly above 7200. Yep, they're not happy at that level.
This is your air fuel.
Yeah.
Lean.
Yeah. And the only way to really get around that is to put a bigger injector in it. You can keep adding octane, but it's just going to get leaner and leaner as you go down in pulley size.
And to look at that question from a slightly different perspective, boostane is race gas. It's no longer shitty pump gas once you add boostane to pump gas. So those pulley size limits for pump gas are now removed. The next limit,
still have fueling limits.
Yeah, fuel limits, like Joe said.
Victor says, hello, Joe, Justin, and Carrie. Hope you're having a great day. Go, Chucky, go.
Sweet.
Go, go, go. That's what I was saying, the exact same thing when I was driving Chucky down the track. So.
Watch the video.
Oh, man, I can just picture you in a, what was that, 12-second car?
Yeah.
Just like, come on, come on.
Yeah.
We're so jaded here.
And a 12-second car.
Yeah. A lot of people out there would be like, man, 12-second car, that's pretty quick. But us, we're like, we're dropping an oar out the driver's side window, trying to get it to go faster.
After Chucky ran those times, I made 3 or 4 passes in Chucky. We did another like 4 or 5 hot laps, and Max drove Chucky, Chris drove Chucky, and Paul drove Chucky. Max, what did you run in Chucky?
It was like a 13.6.
13.6.
It all the way.
And Chris beat you, right?
Yeah, by like a 10.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And Paul's got previous drag racing experience, but Chucky was heat soaked, so it ran like a mid to high 12.
Oh, man.
I mean, literally back to back to back.
That's crazy. You kids we can't send you kids anywhere.
It was fine. It was fine.
Hot lapping cars.
Chucky has 9 lives. We've
This
only
is
used
true.
like 2 of them.
This is true.
I don't know that we really used any of them yet.
I'm counting like the burnouts with no coolant when we first got it and shit like that.
Or maybe like the fact that what was it, hail damage or something? Maybe that's like 1 life.
It looks like it was run off-road.
Yeah, so
with a
that's like
GoPro.
2 live.
Yeah.
So we're
The rust
incrementally
is shed
knocking them
underneath
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy says, what is the safe power limit of a 07 to 09 Condor GT500 engine?
Condor. I haven't heard that in a long time.
I'd say it's right around that upper 700s wheel on a decent quality fuel, like a 93 in Boostane or E85. I mean, you get cars kind of like BJ's car where we ran that thing. I think it was 850 wheel on E85, and I know BJ, every time we hit it in that car, he's like, fingers crossed.
And it ended up being something stupid. A balancer hub failed and tore the keyway up, so it's technically still good.
Yeah.
Mine survived some stupidity lately.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say right around that 800 horsepower mark on good fuel.
And if you're crazy, it's not to say you can't push it harder. We just don't tell our customers to do crazy shit.
Yeah, because, I mean, hell, have you ever seen a GT500 engine get replaced stock? Yeah, that's why they have a warranty. But that's also why we can't tell you, hey, you're going to be good at 900 horsepower because they fail on the stock tune on occasion. So it's like you can't really say, it's like giving a life expectancy to a person. It's like some people live to be this age, and on average it's about this age, but then you get the guy that dies of a heart attack at 29, and it's like, it happens.
Shit, you'd be playing the odds, basically.
Yeah.
At 700, the odds are really in your favor. At 800,
you may as well be eating 2 cheeseburgers a day,
yeah,
Big Mac meal, some Taco Bell, some French fries.
You can do it for a while.
Yeah, and some people will do it till they're 110 years old. But
yeah, or if you're not worried about living past 60 or something, you know, because some of these cars don't get driven enough to really ever wear them out. So it's kind of a sliding scale of use at X power level, you know, over time. And
use at X power level, sitting on the limiter.
Yeah.
All that type of stuff.
Just so that you guys know, we have about 14 minutes.
Okay. Do we have a lot of questions?
We have a number of questions and comments and people kind of bantering back and forth. So I'll go through and read some of them. And at some point,
do we want to talk about this thing?
Let's do a couple questions, and then I'm gonna segue into this here.
Okay. Have you guys heard anything about the new GT500 PCM? HP Tuner still hasn't cracked the C701. Apparently, it has to do with OTA updates and self-driving capabilities. All modules have to be more secure. Have you heard anything on the new GT500?
I've heard that Eric has no fear of 2020 GT500 PCM.
I don't see Ford putting any type of ridiculous software in there. They've got software security in there. Mm-hmm. And the aftermarket's found to be pretty darn resourceful. So it's really just a question of how much money it'll cost.
Exactly.
And if you can buy, what, an 80, how much is the car going to cost?
I don't know.
$85,000 car? I don't know. You can afford $2,000 for a tune. You know, I mean, hopefully it'll be the same price to tune as a regular Mustang, but
if it costs them more to get it cracked, it's going to cost you more to tune it. So.
Yeah.
Kyle says, full bolt-on 18. Just got my E85 DMP tune. I'm going to put it to the work at Street Car Takeover.
Nice, nice.
Keep us updated. Matthew says, I just want to say thank you to Joe for all your help with the melted piston issue I had with my Rouse Stage 3 due to previous owner reviews.
No problem, buddy. No problem at all.
Says, might have missed it since I'm just tuning in, but what pulley did you guys use on that dude in blue when it was dynoed with the Gen 3?
88.
The big boy. And by big boy, I mean small boost. Larger diameter upper pulley, less boost, less blower speed.
Poor boy says, VMP, I just got the okay from the wife on a Supercharger kit, but now I have to wait for the Black Friday sale.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
It's tax season. Just do it.
Just do it. Black Friday's too long, man. You're going to miss the whole summer, and
Just do it. Were you going to say something, Justin?
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay. 5.0 manual speed. I want a Gen 3. Does it come complete or stuff I need to buy after looking for 650 with 93 octane?
So let me clear.
Stock E8, no E85. Up in New Hampshire, they have 110, but no E85.
So let me clarify that because it's come up twice during the show now. We sell both a Gen 3 Coyote head unit upgrade for those that already have a VMP or a Roush kit, and then we sell a complete Stage 3 Gen 3 kit.
And you will definitely be able to tell the difference between the two based on price.
Yeah. People think the Supercharger is the most expensive part of a kit. And in the case of the Coyote, that didn't come with a Supercharger. The most expensive part is all the stuff to bolt the Supercharger on.
Yeah.
Lower manifold changes, belt drive changes, fuel rails change, air induction, wiring harnesses
Throttle
change.
body.
Yeah.
Just everything.
Nawaf says, we need a complete kit of Gen 3 for S550. Thank you.
We have a complete kit for Gen 3 for S550.
VMP Stage 3, Gen 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then just select 15, 17 model year. And you all good.
Mm-hmm. Slapshack says, I'm usually not too sympathetic to the two valve questions, but I just found a first generation Harley Davidson F-150 for a killer deal, but with almost no support my coworkers. Stock EcoBoost may walk me.
So there's an adapter plate to use the T500 blower on the Lightning engine.
Mm-hmm.
So go and do that. And
Did you say you found a Harley truck?
yeah.
So if you found a Harley truck, is it the supercharged
Oh, because some of them weren't supercharged.
version? Yeah. So then he'd need to find like a Lightning blower kit, bolt that on, and then he could bolt the GT500 blower on with that adapter plate that we were just talking about.
At that point, just Coyote swap it. Coyote drivetrain. And
Yeah, that'd be so sweet.
yeah.
Bubba Blue says, tell Justin I have his protein. Does he want me to send it to his house or the shop? He will be looking like Thor in no time.
Just send
Oh,
it.
man.
Just send it here. I'll go lift some weights.
Out there picking up cylinder heads.
Yeah. Carrying engine blocks upstairs.
When you're really feeling frisky, we can give you Ed's straight six cylinder head instead of the aluminum overhead cam stuff we're dealing with on a daily.
Lazarus says, after watching this, John Wick decided to tune his 69 Mustang at VMP.
We've actually done one of those here. It's pretty fun.
It's funny. People are asking about the kit again. We have now about, what, 6-8 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll talk about this.
I was going to say, I knew you wanted to hit the sign.
What is this? It's a sign from our friends over at Autobahn Drivers in Germany. They mailed this to us from Germany, and it's official. It's got all these official triangles and letters on it, official German words. It sounds like cursing, but I promise it's not. And
Too bad it's not.
what are we doing with this?
We're going to be... Go ahead, Max.
We're just going to be giving it away. Stay tuned to our social media channels for the exact parameters of the contest.
Yeah, so we're gonna have you like something or share something or maybe like comment on a specific aspect of a video or something.
Fill out a Google survey.
Yeah, I mean
Something. Well,
there's gonna be some hoops to jump through.
So basically, yeah, if you'd like a cool sign, an
Straight from
Autobahn
Deutschland.
sign, that is an Autobahn sign. So if you'd like the opportunity to win it, make sure you stay tuned to our social media channels and we will let you know how you can win it.
So I want to discuss this a little bit more, Joe. Like, I feel like this is like a little bit vulgar. I feel like this is too passive. And I feel like the sign's probably meant to go like this. Does anybody know which way it goes?
I think it's a cross-out type
Oh,
thing.
okay.
So my
Like a you shall not pass type
in
thing.
Germany actually sent me a picture.
Mein Freund? Or Mein Freundin?
Yeah, my friend. Her name is Tora. And
Mein Freunde. Then.
She
Or Freundin.
it goes at an angle. It goes just like that.
There's a hash marks.
Oh, is it flipped then?
Yes.
Because that looks like a 4 and an 8.
Yeah. But then the stickers are upside down.
Yep. See,
Trippy.
see the picture?
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So, why is this so cool? It means no speed limit, right?
It pretty
It
much
means-
says, yeah, it pretty much says that any sign before it isn't valid anymore.
So like if there was a speed limit sign before it or anything like that, just, yeah, go ahead and ignore that. Just do whatever you want
Pedal-
until the next time,
pedal
till the
to
next
the
sign
metal.
comes up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Nice.
It means go
Do not pass go. Do not collect $100.
I was on the Autobahn last year before, and a friend picked me up from the airport, and they were going like 120 or something. It was fast. When they could, because you can only do it during certain areas. Someone wants to know if we can get a date for 18 to 19 Superchargers. Hint, hint.
We'll have a date as we get closer, but we're working on it.
Abdullah says, hello guys, I'm getting a plus 5.74 knock on my 13 GT. Is it bad for the engine?
Plus 5.74? Is that what he said?
Plus 5.74.
So I would say that the knock sensor is working means that it's probably not bad for your engine, but if it's pulling out 5 degrees, then I'd want to pull timing out of it. The trick to that is making sure that it's actually pulling 5 degrees because it senses detonation and not because it senses false knock. I don't know if we're tuning the car or not, but if on one of our base files it's pulling out 5 degrees, you either have terrible gas or you have false knock. Because we don't make our base files so aggressive that we're starting at the like 100 octane level, and then you put 91 in it, and it's having to pull back 5 degrees to get it back to the level where it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, we want to find out why that's happening so you get optimum performance from the tune.
Yeah, and if someone else is tuning the car, definitely get with them and ask them if they feel that's acceptable, because some tuners out there will change the amount of time, 7 or 10.
Great day trip over there.
No, not about that life.
Yeah.
No, I'm going there with an open ticket. I'll go back when I want to go back.
I'll tell you.
I don't like these itinerary things where, today we're going to be in Berlin, today we're going to be in Munich.
You don't have to do a tour or anything like that. You could travel on your own.
So what is it, just like a Groupon on plane tickets?
You get plane tickets and you have a hotel that you could stay in. And I think it included a rental car too.
So you just get a home base?
You get a home base.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't like that either. I appreciate it though.
Hey.
I will tell you, when we've showed up in foreign countries, like, we don't know where we're staying tonight. We haven't booked it yet. They get a little like antsy.
Well, that's what I do when Ashley and I go on road trips and stuff. We'll get in the car and we'll decide where we're going to stop, and we'll book a hotel before like 4 p.m. and then that's just
before 4 you can usually do okay.
Yeah, exactly.
After that.
I love it over there.
But Carrie's point, I guess they do like discounts on flights.
That, or we'll just stay at a youth hostel.
I mean, it was like yeah, like the Groupon was like $1,100, and that included the flight and everything. So I mean, for that price, you can't beat it. I mean, I paid $1,000 just for the flight to go.
I just realized I think I'm too old for youth hostels now.
I don't think there's an age limit. They have family like.
Well, they have hostels, but then they have youth hostels. So like kids that are traveling around the country, you kind of like share a room with like 5 or 10 other people. And
there are a lot of like
that doesn't sound like a good time
kids backpacking.
No, I mean if you're single, it could be fun.
And
oh man.
Fair enough.
There were a lot of young people backpacking around Paris and around Scotland. Not so many in Ireland, for whatever. Oh, it was the time of year. We went to Ireland when it was cold, so but like over the summer in Paris and Scotland.
Nice.
Chris says, how safe is the factory S550 Coyote racing over 8K, trying to limit shifts on a road course autocross?
I'd say that if you truly have a factory S550, you have no reason to take it to 8K because the car's not making power there.
Quick question about cams, a 12 GT500 with 2.3 ported TVS. Full bolt-on and E85, 2.4 upper, 15% lower, getting about 18 pounds of boost. What gains will I see with cams and change in boost?
Depending on what cams you put in it, tremendous gains. I'd say average would be 80 to 150 horsepower, depending on the cams you put in it.
Probably lose 2 to 3 pounds at least. Time for a bigger blower.
My Back Hurt says, thoughts on the new 7.3 liter gas Ford?
I think it looks promising.
Looks awesome. Let's do it.
It's funny, they actually made a comment in one of the interviews I saw where they were saying the whole reason they made it 7.3 is so that they could run it at stoic under load.
Oh shit!
For gas mileage and stuff.
That's awesome. They designed it for towing gas mileage. Mm-hmm. Because that means there's a lot on the table with tuning.
Yep.
I mean, probably on a motor like that, another 40 horse naturally aspirated.
It makes me wonder, like, are they able to achieve a pretty good power target and get it close to MBT even at stoic? Because, like, in a perfect world, running MBT at stoic would be awesome. Because, like, I know enrichment moves stoic, or enrichment would move MBT, but like, would you increase in power if you induced enrichment and then raised timing even more?
You know, that's a good question, Joe. I think the enrichment would still increase power because the idea with enrichment is you put in extra fuel so you burn the whole charge. If you can kind of conceptualize that, even at stoic, you're not burning the whole charge and not getting the full effect there. But I see where you're going with it. It's interesting because anytime you improve efficiency honestly, internal combustion engines are pretty freaking inefficient. At the end of the day, you're up.
Yeah.
We are now at 2:31.
Any more, like maybe one or two more questions and then we call it?
Sounds good. We do have a couple more in here that we could do. Please explain why everyone says you can't make 650 on a Gen 1 on pump 93, but we just watched Justin do, what, 690 street tune on Smurf?
So what's he looking to be explained?
Why you can't make that power?
Why people are out stating that you can't make that power?
I mean, a couple things. The Gen 3 blower we've got out now, it's more efficient and the boost is a little bit more peaky, so it doesn't come on like real hard down low and potentially create spikes in cylinder pressure that break things. But you know, up top it does run a little bit more boost to produce that number. As time's gone on, we've gotten a lot more comfortable with these engines and we're more comfortable pushing them harder. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway. Factor. And the technology's gotten better. You know, our supercharging technology, our efficiency.
That's all not to say that we're not, with the older Gen 1 engines, we're not more comfortable with it being 650 wheel. Because like, we can kind of get it to make whatever you want if you have the fuel quality there, but also looking at it from a tuner standpoint, we don't want to make a tune to the highest common denominator in terms of fuel quality, or I guess that's greatest common factor.
But yeah, I get what Joe's trying to say is like, we still know that if we're too aggressive, the failure rate goes up.
So the Redline Riot states that his friend is debating on what tuner to go with for his Mach because it only has minor bolt-ons. We're one of the considerations, wants to know, is it something that you can easily tune?
Yeah.
We got great tunes for the Mach 1. I mean, we're going to tune it, it's going to be what it's going to be, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's a NA, even with cold air and long tubes and stuff, they kind of do what they do.
Yeah, I mean, 300, 320 max, it could make as little as 280 wheel. It's not a Coyote. I hate to like make this all about the Coyote, but really, it's all about the Coyote.
It's what Ford's come to.
Yeah.
Same gentleman says that he's coming to us to tune his Boss. And he wanted to know, should I use the HP Tuner's N gauge and our tunes to tune the Boss so he can keep track of the track key? Or is the track key features even worth it to keep, or can you implement some of those in your tuning?
I feel like a lot of that's his decision.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you pretty much listed all the decisions that you'll have to make. It's more expensive to keep the track key because we have to burn credits and use a more expensive device, the HP Tuner's N gauge. We can most definitely do it for you. The track key is kind of a novelty anyways. I mean, the ghost cam on that thing is you have to let it idle for 30 seconds and it's kind of a weak ghost cam. I mean, the easiest thing to do is for us to just tune it with the regular way and just go back to having one key.
Rob says, hey guys, you seem to be working with a lot of YouTubers recently. Have we considered working with Adam LZ? Which is interesting because we were talking about that recently. He's recently talked about the reliability of his GT350 versus his JDM cars. Could be a good person to show off the Gen 3, and he's in Florida.
I did not know Adam was local, actually.
He was in Oviedo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's...
Yeah, so, Yeah, I mean, we could possibly work with them. Like, I don't know, all this stuff has happened kind of organically. They've come to us. They've actually pretty much all come to us or were referred to us. So Alex referred Cletus to us, and yeah, that's
And
all.
then from there,
All on the same lines.
people started reaching out.
GT350 is what Adam LZ has. It's not a S550 GT, and this guy was referring to putting a Gen 3 on it, but
It is a GT350.
yeah, so it's kind of like,
Not necessarily our market, you know. And I don't know. I heard, yeah. So I don't know why Adam bought that car. Like, if he wants like a 1,000 horsepower monster, or if he just wants to appreciate it for what it is.
I'll hold their value
Yeah.
until the GT500 comes out. It's kind of like 9901 Cobras before the 0304 Cobra.
But with that said, you never know what we may have in the works in the future.
Yeah, I'd love to meet Adam. Maybe I'll have to go over there and hang out with him sometime or something.
Or maybe he can come up to our next event.
Yeah.
It is 2:36.
We are going to
Bye.
have to call it quits. We got a bunch of awesome videos coming out.
All the stuff.
So make sure you like this video. Everybody like it. Like the live show.
Share.
Subscribe to our channel and share.
Yeah, definitely
Sharing is
share.
caring. Did you say that last time?
I think I did.
Yeah, okay.
Or a time previous.
I'm
I said it at some point.
I'm copying you.
Okay. Like,
So-
share, subscribe. If you have any ideas for future videos that you'd like to be seen,
If you'd like us to talk about anything other than teaching you how to tune a car, we'd be happy to discuss topics.
absolutely.
Shoot us some stuff that you want to see us talk about.
Yeah, and we'll talk about a lot of stuff because tuning interests us and we like tuning and modifying.
We have some F-150 stuff coming up. We have a video that's going to be released tomorrow, so stay tuned.
Is that an F-150 jet ski?
Those are your rear springs without traction bars.
That's that S, doing that fancy S.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then Chucky will be next week, y'all. So.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Have a good day, guys.